Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are just waiting for Steff Traveler to grace us with his presence. Steff, for some reason, wanted to see me live stream so he could come on as a guest and discuss certain issues with me. So I've sent a message out to Steff Traveler, and we're just waiting for him to appear. And then we will see what he has to say for himself. Mike Chef, no, Steff Traveler was adamant that he wanted the drama live stream on my channel. As you can see, there's 130 people watching now, waiting for Steff to grace us with his appearance so he can say what needs to be said. He's not backstage yet, but he's aware that I'm live streaming. Yes, Chris French says there in the chat, Steff told Pariah to go live. And here we are waiting for Steff. Hopefully he will be along soon. SDRT says, I'm asking for money, if you can call it like that. Well, that's the motto of Steff. But obviously I'm not asking for any money. So if you have anything to donate, put it back into your own pocket and have a good time yourself. Burrows Badger asked the question, what drama, Pariah? For some reason, Steff came to the conclusion that I had doxed his address, which has caused him a great deal of grief. But the thing is, and this was the issue that I tried to raise with Steff, he's never given me his address. He's given me his PayPal account because I've donated to him in the past, but certainly he's never given me his address. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Steff Traveler was the very first Pattaya vlogger, the very first motorbike vlogger, the very first Pattaya live streamer, but he's diversified at the moment, and he's now into home cooking videos. He's made some spaghetti bolognese and a plate of what looks like chips and shit, basically. But so I'm looking backstage here on StreamYard, and Steff hasn't graced us with his presence yet, so I guess that means he's fashionably late. Yeah, as Capio says, Steff is the founding father of the Thai genre. Indeed he is, and he likes to protect that position. Cab Driver 361, good evening. You say that Steff won't be turning up, Pariah. You know that. No, 5 minutes ago, Steff had asked me to start a live stream on my channel so he can confront me about the issues that he has with me. So that's what this stream is dedicated to, and that's why we're waiting for Steff. If we can put out an all points bulletin on Steff possibly and find out where he's actually located. If there's anyone that wants to volunteer to go and look for him on my behalf, give him a tug and drag him over here. Oh dear. Andrew Johnson, when am I back in Pattaya? No plans at present. In the meantime, since I've started making this video series, I've taken a trip to both India and Dubai. So there'll be a very brief video coming up about the time that I spent there. You know, it was kind of like for a cultural pilgrimage to visit India. But after about 5 minutes there, you know, I'd come to the conclusion that nothing can beat Pattaya. Yeah, thanks very much, everyone commenting here. But unfortunately, as I said, I can't yet see Steff Traveler. Okay, he's still not backstage. You know, as I said, the only reason why this stream was started was to give Steff a platform with, you know, 200 plus viewers to say what needed to be said. He said he was desperate to talk to me in stream format on my channel and not here, and not where he was at the time. So that's what we're just waiting for. I want to just try and see if I can put up a reverse PayPal link, a reverse PayPal link. So the person that actually finds Steff and brings him to this stream could possibly get a cash reward. Right, so a message to the chat here. Press 1 if you want to see Steff grace us with his presence. Okay, there's a few number ones coming in there. Right, I don't see any other number other than 1. So obviously people want it to happen. But it seems as though we're missing the crucial ingredient here. Steff. You know, as I said before, the only reason why this stream started was because Steff asked me to, and he wanted to give me the platform. Hello to Quinton TV. I see someone else that's had a few run-ins with Steff in the past. Good evening to Budapest Mole. Good evening to Willie Strokes. Well, that's a good point that Iron King has made there. Perhaps Steff does need some form of payment. The thing is, this channel isn't monetized, so it doesn't generate any revenue, and it's not set up for StreamYards, donations, PayPal, or anything like that. So maybe that's not necessarily the best safe space for Steff. But just checking backstage, and no, he's still not here. RS7, who hasn't had a run-in with Steff? Well, that's a good question. It might take me a while to answer that, unfortunately. Good Frang, it's like an after-school fight when only one kid turns up. Well, I'm here at the swings and no one to keep me company. So 243 people are awaiting Steff here. And again, fashionably late. Is it possible that someone could go on an expedition and try and find Steff? Just politely and very cautiously tell him to come here? Johnny Bravo, did you give a link to Steff? I told Steff twice. He'd asked me to go live on my channel. He said, when will you go live on my channel? I said, give me 2 minutes. I'll be there. I'm expecting you. But unfortunately, he's not. So Capio raises a point here. Mike is telling him to stay there. It was a ruse to steal your audience. But there we go. It looks as though we won't be graced with Steff's presence here. So unfortunately, what can we do? And again, as Capio says, Steff has stage fright. He's not used to speaking in front of so many people. So what else can we do? Oh, well. But, you know, the offer was there. The hand was extended. Steff was invited into my home with the opportunity to sit down and expose me for all the evils that he said that I have committed to him. But obviously he didn't want to participate there. So what can we do? Just one of those things, I guess. But anyway, in the spirit of offering the hand of friendship, maybe let's say some good things about Steff. So right, is there anybody that can help me in the chat and just type some decent comments about Steff, and I'll read them out. I'm just got some brain block here. I can't think of anything necessarily good to say about him. But other than, of course, he, as he always repeats, he was the very first Pattaya vlogger. He was the very first Pattaya streamer. He finds himself in a situation with the bar girls that he takes back to his room, wanting to pay him for his service. He wears a fine pair of Jesus slippers. He enjoys a pedicure. He fashionably presents Sports Direct t-shirts. I think it's Pierre Cardin is the brand that he likes to watch. Yeah, the Toronto skyscraper blog. Jesus slippers are the leather or kind of like canvas equivalent of plastic Crocs. And Steff likes to rock that look. I'm just seeing so many names. I didn't publicize this stream at all. I just went live in 2 minutes at Steff's request. And I'm just seeing so many names of like vloggers and commentators that have had issues with Steff. So, I mean, as the law of averages must say, that the 100 plus people that are not keen on Steff must be wrong and Steff must be right. So that's a difficult thing to, you know, be the type of person that never does anything wrong, and yet so many people are critical of you. Well, that's quite correct what Mr. S has said there. He was a visionary on predicting the potential of e-begging. He was way ahead of his time. So, you know, we can add that to the list. The first Pattaya vlogger, the first Pattaya live streamer, and the first Pattaya e-beggar. Thomas V, we want to hear you laugh, Pattaya Pariah. If someone could put a few Steff jokes in the chat there, then possibly that would make me laugh. Good evening to Johnny. There is something happening. Exactly. Beans and Brews says the first person to have his whiskey stolen, or as Steff refers to it as confiscated. Steff had got himself into a bit of a pickle. He went into a Thai bar and he brought his own alcohol. You know, that's what they refer to here as bring your own booze. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily work in Pattaya because the bars rely on custom, not someone bringing in their own booze to drink themselves. Because it's not a taxed bottle of whiskey, there was a potential for like a 200,000 baht fine and a potential closure for the bar owner. But, you know, Steff didn't do anything wrong. Kevin Cross says the night he went on the beach and begged for money, I sent him 50 euros. I never got a thanks or anything in the way of appreciation. Typical bum. I had sent 2 lots of £50 sterling to Steff, but there was something of a condition with it. It's that you could buy drinks for yourself and the girls at the iRovers bar, and when you've done, just whatever is left over, just give in a tip to the staff. You know, that was 2 lots of £50, but one of the girls there actually messaged me and said that he bought 1 drink for himself, 1 drink for her, and then left. So, you know, I guess that's money in the bank. Hello to the life of Tony. I hope you're well, sir. You know, this was an anticlimax. So we've been going like 20 plus minutes now, and this was only set up for the purposes of Steff speaking to me. You know, that was what he wanted. That was what he required. That's what he said I should be doing. But where is he? As Stephen Gamble says, it is almost like getting dumped at the altar. You know, I've turned up in time and the bride hasn't arrived. I love Sangsom. Sangsom says, Pariah, why send him money, mate? It wasn't just for him. It was so he could enjoy a drink and he could buy a few drinks for the girls in my favorite bar. But, you know, that wasn't to be. So 265 people now waiting for Steff to grace us with his presence. And if I was a betting man, I would bet that Steff isn't actually going to come. Another question for me here is just answer the bloody question, Pariah. Custard or jam filling in the donut? Custard every time. Okay, the celebrity commentator, weightlifter, hard man, Mike Sheff has announced it won't happen here. So unfortunately, Steff won't be appearing. It is now 10:30, so I mean, maybe we can give him a bit longer until Barry the Boss stream starts. R7 there says, The Bride of Pariah, a future production, AJ. But there's no happy ending because I've been stood up. The good Farang, Steff only talks brave when he's drinking. He's probably having a night off, but he's active on the Mike Chef stream. But there isn't the same protection on the Mike Chef stream as there is here. And you know, we've got a larger amount of numbers here. More people are eager to see what Steff has to say. So I don't know why he wouldn't appreciate the audience. Yeah, but Gaza Sweden, the thing was, Steff had specifically requested that I start a stream on my channel so he could come in and tell me what's up. But obviously that doesn't need to happen in his mind. And as Chris French says, yes, Steff did ask for this to happen here. Oh dear. Well, as it's good Farang says there, you can all follow over to Mike Chef's channel. I think Mike would appreciate the audience there. But as I said, this stream was created for the purposes of Steff to come on, to expose me, to speak about the issues and problems that I've caused him. And yet, you know, he can't be bothered to attend. Eric Lindgreen says, PP on a side topic, how did you slim down? You look great. Thank you, Eric. It's simple, eating less and moving more. But as Mike Chef, the commentator, likes to remind me, I'm 350 pounds and 5 foot tall, apparently. But yeah, in relation to losing weight, it was just consuming less and moving more over the space of a year. And I mean, that's one of the things that Mike Chef, Steff's friend, always has an issue of raising how disgusted he is with other men's bodies. But the key issue here is I find that strange that he would be critical of someone in the chat here called Capio, because Capio is someone that lost a lot of weight, dedicated a lot of time to health and fitness and slimmed right down. Yet Mike still berates him for being a former fat person. So, you know, you can't necessarily win. And also I want to offer some congratulations to Capio. Mike Chef, who likes to constantly state that he's a gladiator, street gladiator, a 7-time guest at Her Majesty's pleasure. He said that Capio was an absolute failure in a boxing ring, because there's a video of Capio out there boxing. But the key issue here is it was white collar boxing for a cancer charity. And I believe it was in the region of £10,000 that was raised by Capio for stepping in that ring. So, you know, that motivation there wasn't for prize fighting or beating the shit out of someone. The time that he'd spent training and then getting into the ring was for the benefit of a cancer charity. Johnny Bravo, does anyone know what Mike Chef looks like? Well, I would assume that Mike, from what he says, he's kind of like the martial artist Scott Adkins, ripped body, tall, great with his fists, can pump iron, lift weights, intimidating. But, you know, I'm still puzzled as to where the accent comes from. Kevin Cross, thank you very much for that comment there. Oh, dear. Is there anybody else that would like to come on? Someone possibly that has had some experience of Steff in the past? Yeah, the good Farang says, Mike Chef sounds like a Dublin kid who moved to London at a young age. That could be a possibility, but I kind of like get a bit of a Bristol twang in his voice as well. Thailand Tim says, just heard from Steff. He says this is a witch hunt. Any idea why? No, Thailand Tim. Steff had specifically asked me to start a live stream on my channel for him to attend so he could talk to me and raise each and every issue that he has. But, you know, as we can see, 30 minutes in and no attendance. And as Win Dizzle says, as much as I love to hear your voice, it's been a big waste of everyone's time. I fully agree with you, Win Dizzle. It would have been spectacular if Steff had been here, but it's a no-show, unfortunately. Oh, dear. Oh, well. So thanks very much for everyone that attended. I'm sorry that you've all been let down by the fact that Steff couldn't be bothered to turn up. 250 watching now. So it was obviously clear that people had wanted to view the famous YouTuber Steff Traveler, but it just wasn't to be. So, you know, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for everyone that has attended, and sorry that you've all been let down. So take care, everyone, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Steff Traveler channel. If you've got a few spare coins, fling him in his direction, and I'm sure he would appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much. God bless, and good night.